The Nintendo Switch got YouTube. Whoopee! Goldberg. And it only took a year and a half. Nintendo, what are you doing? You have the ultra hip, ultra popular, ultraviolet Nintendo Switch, and it took a year and a half to get YouTube on it. That's pretty bad. And that's not even the worst part, because the Switch has yet to get Netflix and Amazon Instant Video, two of the biggest streaming services out there. The Switch still doesn't have stinking Netflix. That's whack. So where are all these streaming apps, and why haven't they been put on the Switch yet? Hello all 598 of you, I'm Redkwan, and where are the Switch apps? Now the first reaction to this might be something along the lines of, well, streaming services on the Switch shouldn't matter because all the cool kids have smart TVs, Redkwan, so they can just use that. I bet you don't have a smart TV, Redkwan, because you're pretty dumb. And you're right, I don't have a smart TV, because they're a lame, gimmicky waste of money. Yeah, I just went there. But here's the thing. If the reason was just that people could watch their shows in other ways, which I agree, a lot of them can, then why have they put out Hulu and YouTube? Plus, they said that the other services were coming when they launched the Switch, and the situation a year ago wasn't much different than it is now in terms of how you can watch stuff. Plus, the Switch actually would be useful for those of us who don't have smart TVs, as well as being something people could watch this stuff on off of the TV with a screen much bigger than that of a phone and that has a kickstand. So it's not like putting these services on the Switch is just useless for everybody. I think it could actually be pretty cool for a lot of people in some situations. Also, it's just convenient to be able to play a game and be able to have all this stuff right there. And even if I'm wrong and it still is stupid and useless, which is very possible, they still just put YouTube on the Switch. The fact that they just put it on so recently makes me think that even if it is useless, they're still trying to put these services on anyway, and it's just taking them an excessive amount of time to do. So it appears we have a mystery on our hands. Come on, Watson, we're on the case. So why would it be that Nintendo would wait so long to put these apps on the Switch, even though it looks like they're still trying to put them on at some point? One possible explanation is that Nintendo wanted to focus their marketing on the games. When the Xbox One came out, Microsoft tried to make it seem like this all-in-one media device. It didn't really work. But taking the focus away from video games, the Xbox One got off to a pretty awful start and never really got over it. Nintendo might have wanted to avoid that mistake by taking a more games-first approach, but while that is possible, I don't think it's very likely. Just having the services ready wouldn't mean you'd need to market them as being there, plus the fact that you would have Breath of the Wild at launch would have overshadowed any thought people would have about the Switch not focusing on games. And if that was really the plan, Nintendo would have been able to put these services on the Switch well before now, so I don't really think that's what the problem is. Is it possible that either Nintendo or these companies don't really want to have them on there? I can't really think of a good reason why the companies like Netflix and YouTube wouldn't want their platforms on the Switch. Maybe they would have to work with Nintendo to do it, or maybe they would have to pay Nintendo to put the services on the system, but I don't really think it would make much sense for them to hold off from doing it, especially because every service has taken a long time. Nintendo not wanting these services on there seems slightly more likely, seeing as they would probably be the ones paying to get the services on the Switch instead of the companies paying them, but I still don't think that would really be the issue, because it seems like this benefits both Nintendo and the company putting their service on there, and because Nintendo, when asked about whether this stuff would come, said they would eventually put it on the Switch. Not just that they were considering it or some other PR mumble, but if both Nintendo and the streaming places would probably like to see the systems on the Switch, why aren't they here yet? It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and it seems easy enough to do. I think the most likely situation is probably that it has to do with Nintendo Switch Online. The people who have been working on the Switch's new online service are probably the same people who would be in charge of getting streaming services onto the Switch, and the fact that the Switch Online service has gotten delayed for so long and still requires a lot of work is probably the main reason why we haven't gotten Netflix, Amazon Video, and the like for so long. Will that change anytime soon? I honestly think it will. The Switch Online service is up and running, and while the people in charge of it are probably still doing a lot with that, I'm sure they're a lot more freed up to work on things like these applications, and they could probably roll them out pretty soon. Also, with the Wii's online network shutting down in January, including the discontinuation of the ability to watch these services on the Wii, there might be a push to try to get them out on the Switch by the end of the year. Hopefully we see these sites get a Switch application soon, and maybe an internet browser too. I mean, come on, the Wii had one. It's kinda sad that the Wii had more online features than the Switch. Well, I'm Redkwan. What do you think about Nintendo Switch apps? Are you one of the cool cats who has a smart TV and are completely unaffected by this? You probably are. Anyways, I'm Redkwan. Thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.